Mr. Speaker, we've heard the song, "This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, this land was made for you and me." But we need to understand that in America, the greatest, largest landholder is Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam, the great landowner. He owns 27% of all the land in America. This poster here shows the holdings of Uncle Sam. All of the red in the United States, including Alaska, is owned by Uncle Sam. Over 50% of the land in the West is owned by Uncle Sam. Now, if we were to transfer all these acres to the East Coast, that's about the size of all of the land east of the Mississippi is owned by Uncle Sam. Looking at it another way, let's go across the seas to Europe. If you take all the land that Uncle Sam owns and superimpose it on Europe, it would include the United Kingdom, Spain, France, Switzerland, Italy, Austria, Germany, and Poland. That would be how much land Uncle Sam would own if he owned that portion of Europe. So the great landholder is none other than the federal government. The federal government owns about 27% of all the land in America, 623 million acres. And we are talking about how to increase the revenue for this country. Maybe we should do something that was thought of years ago. Ronald Reagan may not have been the first, but he did mention in the 1980s that the federal government ought to sell some of that land to Americans to help, get this, pay down the debt. This has even been talked in the White House. President Obama discussed this a couple of weeks ago, of selling just one little 300-portion acre in Los Angeles that was approximately worth $2 billion. Maybe we should sell some of that. So I introduced the American Land Act that will do this. It will require that the Bureau of Land Management and the Forestry Service sell a portion of their land for the next 5 years. And that will be a decrease in total land in the United States owned by Uncle Sam to about 26%. Now, bear in mind, I want to make this clear, this does not include the national parks. This does not include the Fish and Wildlife Services, the marshes, the coastal plains, the environmental sensitive areas. The federal government will make the decision what would be sold. Right now, or excuse me, in 2005, the land holdings of the United States, according to OMB, was worth about $1.1 trillion. So I think if we sold a portion of this land, it would raise revenue for the United States, about approximately $200 billion or less. Plus, it would do other things. It would put the land in the hands of Americans, and Americans would own the land, and they would pay taxes, and they could pay taxes not only to local and state government, but when they build a business or make a business, they will bring in more federal income tax. It will save the federal government the cost of maintaining ownership, and it will raise revenue and pay down the debt. Real property in the hands of real Americans. What a thought. It will create productivity and sell American land to Americans. Let Americans own more of America. Uncle Sam shouldn't prevent Americans from having a stake or a share in America. The United States owns most of the ground of our great country, and it's time to let more Americans own it, because this land was made for you and me, and that's just the way it is. I yield.